Hey there, welcome into my channel. My name's Soji Sakata. I'm a gender fluid cat cybernetic VTuber, and I'm also a certified auto mechanic. I make a living working on cars. I have a college degree in them, and I actually used to be ASE certified. So I've been having some fun going through the channel just rolled in. And when I get through them, I'm going to hit some others that maybe have some different clips and such. But I thought it'd be fun to go through and see what kind of mechanical nonsense we can find today, because you just never know what kind of ridiculous crap customers are going to do to their cars, what ridiculous things are going to break on their own, what Jeep modified or modification is going to break today. You just never know what you're going to see. But with that being said, I have come up with the criteria of 3 things that we're going to see most commonly in this video. And before we even click on it, you can see I have not watched this video yet. The 3 things we're most likely going to see are modified vehicles, cheap cars, whether they come from the factory cheap or if they're just old beat-up clunkers, and then, of course, the third is anything from the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram family of vehicles. So with that being said, let's see how right we are and how many of those 3 we can spot today. Customer states bullet holes and vibration at idle. Sir, one of these seems a little bit more important than the other, and I'm going to go with the bullet holes. Part of your car being shot, but that's a whole new level of it. Good grief.
Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Just Rolled In.
All these Jeep people showing up with
First car out the gate, Jeep Wrangler. I rest my
30-degree
case.
weather, with their top down, their doors off.
Wait, did you say 30-degree weather?
Oh, hey, look. That
Oh.
must be Donald Duck.
God. Every freaking Jeep owner. And the duck thing. Oh, yeah, upstate New York. That makes sense. Oh, my God. You can see New York on the sticker here. Oh, you know what? No comment. I'm not getting political on this channel. But that is, yeah. Jeep Wrangler owner with their doors off in the middle of winter in New York. Yeah, that checks. What the crap, people.
After a Super Bowl party, I somehow managed to shoot a 9mm into my dash, and coolant and Freon leaked everywhere.
Oh, no. If he shot coolant and Freon, that's what we saw here a second ago. Let's go back.
Customer states
Here.
after a
This is the air box to the vehicle, which is where the heater core and the AC condenser, or excuse me, evaporator. I always say those backwards. This is where the heater core and AC evaporator live. So the fact that he shot that and he hit both of those means that the entire dashboard has to come out of the car to get this box out to replace it, because it'll now leak air, and to replace the heater core and evaporator.
Super Bowl party, I somehow managed to
That's the entire dash carrier.
shoot a 9mm into my dash, and
Oh,
coolant and
my.
Freon leaked everywhere. Please
This-
check and advise.
This is why you don't use a gun when you're drunk. Oh my, look at how that is tens of hours of work. This tech, I hope he's getting paid good, because he just had to tear apart that entire truck. I mean, that's the unibody you're looking at on the firewall there. Would not surprise me to see that tech have 20, 30, 40 hours in that truck.
Customer
That
states
sucks.
that there is a vibration while driving. The technician thinks the customer's statement is accurate.
Yep, that's bent wheel. Obviously, wheel's supposed to be round.
Okay.
That's a problem.
You right there. You see that? You see that?
R350, okay.
That's going to be you in about 15 years. Right there.
Yeah, that's what you always think. You see an old car and a new car, the same thing come in. Does that say nicotine? Oh my God, that says nicotine. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's a tech having some good fun in the shop, joking around with the cars that are coming in. You get bored sometimes during the day, and these are the thoughts that cross your head.
States there's a leak in the sidewall.
So, never patch a tire from the outside. And never, never, never use a nicotine patch as a tire
Technicians
patch.
found roofing tar and a nicotine patch used for the repair.
Roofing tar. Keyword there. Roof. Roofing tar. Not tire tar. Not tire repair tar. Roofing tar. Don't put that on your
The
tire.
shop doesn't doubt the creativity of this MacGyver attempt, but in 25 years, this is a first.
Wow.
Customer declined a PCV
Cheap car, Kia.
replacement that was causing burning oil a few weeks ago. Now they're back at the shop in this.
Kia with a blown motor. Yep, that one's, for those of you who don't know, the running joke is that Kia has the worst engines in the car business right now. Of course, General Motors giving them a run for their money. Kia engines have a penchant for blowing up. I don't know if it's a combination of the demographic of drivers who buy them, the fact that they're cheaply made, or a combination of both. But Kias in particular, Kia and Hyundai models, like to blow motors. And this is what happens to them. That's the engine block. This truck, I'm guessing from the look of it, it's a Telluride. This thing needs a whole new motor. That's wiped. Ooh! That is a Cadillac by that badge. Not a cheap car here, but a General Motors car, so they're not, again, GM engine. That's blow-by. That is the piston rings going bad as the compression sneaks around the piston, down into the oil pan, up through the oil galleys and other channels that it can take, and the drain holes and stuff, and right out the oil fill. That's compression coming out. Congratulations, you need a new engine. That is bad.
These airbag inflators were pulled out and set aside, and the shop's thinking about taking them to a coworker's place to set them off 10 at a time, since management doesn't want to spend the money to send them back.
I got it. I'm right here. Yep.
Oh my god. And this is why you don't screw around with your airbags. They are quite literally little controlled kabooms. And they can do that. Where's the trash can?
That trash can.
Oh, it obliterated it.
The moisture in the tires made it better.
Customer states, unit sounds like a Honda Civic.
The exhaust isn't hooked up. The bolt's rusted off. Or came loose or something. But that's why it sounds like a Civic. There's no exhaust on it.
Customer states, if it doesn't start, just give the pump a good whack. The
Oh.
shop doesn't doubt that method's been used more than once.
So, there's a term called percussive maintenance. And it's quite literally whack it until it starts working again. It does actually work sometimes. We use it here in my particular industry. What you'll do is, okay, if you have a starter or something that's going bad, it doesn't always work, but it is somewhat successful that you can take and whack the starter with a hammer, and that will, like, jar it enough to break loose and work one more time so that you can pull the vehicle in from the parking lot without having to push it. Same thing with fuel pumps. The fuel pump will start to get old and worn out, and it'll seize slightly. However, every now and then you can kind of give a good whack on the fuel tank, or in this case the customer's doing it to the top of the pump, which jars it and lets the fuel pump run one more time.
My life. 25 years of beating bearing halves off with a clamshell. 30 seconds with a MapGat torch. Spinning it like that. And bearing falls on the ground.
That's true. Heat expands that ring that you see, which is a bearing race, and the spinning motion keeps the momentum going, so that the ring, rather than sitting still, the momentum is causing everything to spin, and that lets the ring slide right off of there, and that race just comes right down. That is a very clever method I've seen done many times.
Damn you, TikTok.
This car rolled in after the customer noticed coolant constantly overflowing. The tech found pressure building where it shouldn't. Exhaust gases pushed.
Head gasket. Combustion leaking past the head gasket into the coolant, pressurizing the coolant. There's actually a tool you stick in right here. You suck up the air coming off of there, and if there's combustion gases in the coolant, you can go ahead and write the motor off. Tell your customer you need a head gasket or potentially a new motor, depending on how serious the damage is.
Reservoir due to a blown head gasket.
Head gasket, there it was. Yep.
Customer says they hit a curve.
Oh. How big was the curb? Take a look here. That's one half of the control arm. That's the other half that's supposed to be attached to it. Broke it in half. And of course, with nothing holding the tire, that ripped the CV axle out of its boot, which is where all the grease came from. Oh, and it bent the tie rod too. Wow. Oh, and broke the rim. Big damage. That one's going to hurt.
Customer states they struck.
Yep, stuck wheels. Done that many a time.
Swerving to avoid a possum in the road.
Pro tip. Unless it's a deer or something large enough to do big damage, hit the animal. And I say this as somebody who couldn't harm a fly. Genuinely, I don't want to hit squirrels, rodents, raccoons. I don't want to hurt them. But the damage you can do to your car or even yourself trying to avoid them by hitting a ditch and potentially rolling it or something. I've seen people total out vehicles trying to avoid a squirrel. I'm not saying that squirrel deserves it, but when it comes to a squirrel or my vehicle that's worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, I'm sorry, Mr. Squirrel. I'm not swerving. It's too much.
The incident occurred during normal driving conditions. No immediate concerns were reported at the time, but the vehicle was brought in for further evaluation following the event.
Oh, it split the frame there. And it's done damage there to the... whatever that piece is. Looks to be some type of subframe mount. Ooh, oh, and it bent that. Is that... that looks like that's bent too. Wowee. I'm surprised this car drove at all this way. That whole thing's mangled. It's got some pretty serious damage to it. Wowee. Oof. Oh, it cracked the oil pan, it looks like, too.
The shop is surprised that this made it into production.
Would you make a brake pad sensor, right? That just gets to eat up after like 2 mil of service. Get 2 millimeters out of your brake pad out of wear. Oh, Chevy says you need to change it.
I have worked on these. These are the newer Silverados. And yeah, that brake pad, the sensor will tell you 0% life left in it. Terrible design. I'm hoping the aftermarket comes up with a solution for that problem.
This pan on this Tahoe was a little bit of a pain to get out because it hits right up against this exhaust pipe, which requires a little bit of ingenuity.
The old brake pad spreader. I've never used this, but I have used other things similar to this. I got a couple of random tools laying around, like C-clamps I'll use in reverse to spread things. Actually using the framing of the C-clamp, but yeah, just stretching the exhaust hangers. This doesn't work on rusty cars, but on new ones, smart man. Saved himself a bunch of time.
From overseas rolled into the shop today in Virginia. The technician hasn't seen anything like it in nearly 3 decades.
Wow, somebody actually re-welded a muffler. Unreal. That's a rare thing anymore.
Someone spent 2 hours welding and plating a rusty $20 aftermarket muffler. Apparently outside the U.S., parts don't go into the trash. They get it fixed.
Well, I suppose if you don't have access to said $20 muffler, which is not $20, they're usually more than that. But for a muffler like that, yeah, if you couldn't get your hands on one, I mean, more power to you, I guess. Dude's welds are, I mean, not the best, but they're pretty decent.
Customer states there's a grinding noise while
Let's back that up a second.
trash. They get fixed. Customer
Chrysler. We know what's going to come here.
states there's a grinding noise while braking on their Chrysler 300. The tech found the rotor split. The inner hub spinning freely from the outer ring. What the?
What? I've seen them break, but not like that. That's wild. Really? Subscription required? This is why I'll never have a new truck or a new car. I don't want features that I have to subscribe to on my own car.
Customer states
What the? Alright, that's a lower engine mount. This is something to do with, I'm guessing, some type of all-wheel drive transfer box?
I had a guy my friend knows install a transfer case.
Transfer case, yep. Hey, buddy, you forgot the bolts.
This 2008
That's gonna hurt. This is some type of Pentastar motor by the look of it?
Nissan Armada rolled
Nope, Nissan, okay.
in after striking a rock. The oil pan and trans pan were both damaged. Once removed, the tech found a broken oil pickup and a damaged transmission filter. A new valve body will be required because the filter cannot be replaced separately.
Why can the filter not be replaced separately, Nissan? This is why you have transmission problems. Nissan, known for just shitty, junky transmissions in the car world right now. Nissan, this is why people clown you for your transmissions. Valve body replacement for a filter. The valve body is like the guts of the transmission. It's the brain. It does I shouldn't say guts. It's the brain. It does all of the decision making in the transmission. It's what controls everything outside of the computer. Inside the transmission, the valve body is the leader in charge. Without that, that's an in-depth procedure to change that. That's stupid. Rough break on the rock, buddy, but Nissan, why? Could have just been a filter and pan, but no. Look at all that. Look how many bolts he had to take out of this thing just to get that apart. He's still not done.
What do we got here?
What the? Is that a CB radio? People still use those other than truckers?
Oh, fuck yeah, bud. Get her done, man.
Rebel flag on it.
Rebel flag on them. So walk, talk, go on, break on 9.
Customer states there's a knocking sound.
Oh. The 69 average Rust God Ford. Yep, okay. You live in the north. That's the frame. And that's where the frame used to be. Send this one to the junkyard. This car's
While
done.
driving, a technician found the drivetrain completely rotted on this Mercedes-Benz with 100,000 miles.
That's a Merc? Wow, that thing aged like milk.
So customer brought this in to another shop.
That's one of those I always joke about that. You get a car that comes in and the suspension arm is completely rusted off of the frame. It's just you're somebody to the pit of misery. Dilly dilly! From that old Bud Light commercial.
Had a bunch of work done, including the fuel pump, so naturally I come back here to inspect what they did, and that is what
That's the fuel pump lock ring. Why isn't that on the fuel
it's
pump?
now on the fuel pump. And come in here, and sure enough, look at that.
Oh, that fuel pump isn't secured.
Fuel pump's just kind of
They just used that other bracket and clamped it in. Oh my god. Don't do that.
a one loose screw in it, so that's just fantastic. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and go through this again and redo it so it's safe.
Yeah, that could leak liquid gas out, which of course isn't. Liquid gasoline is less dangerous than fuel vapor. Fuel vapor is what's actually flammable. Again, yeah, don't do that. That's so bad.
2015 Chrysler 300
2015 Chrysler 300, and I can already tell you it's a bad
was
carrier
lifted
bearing.
for inspection to check a few things out. During the check, the hanger bearing was found with a missing bushing. You can
Hanger
see
bearing,
straight
same
through
thing.
it.
Jesus, that had to be one hell of a driveline vibration. Wow. Oof. Yeah, that's not supposed to move like
Customer
that.
states vibration while at idle. The vehicle rolled in, and the shop found more than just a small shake. There were bigger motor mount issues that filled in the gaps in the customer's statement.
Oh. 3.6 Pentastar Jeep Grand Cherokee. I can tell you already from the underside of it and the front clip that we saw. If not, it's something similar.
Some days,
What the?
you just never know what you're gonna get in the shop.
What the?
Putting some new batteries in this, you gotta take the rear wheel off, get to the access panel.
What?
And both the batteries sit in a tray with your shut-off solenoids. Neat little connectors.
What the?
She's, the real deal.
That's a Casey Kane, Ray Evernham. What? Who brings this in for service?
Casey Kane's old car. Road course.
Oh, I'm doing a post-road trip inspection of the
Awesome.
40, and it had a nasty vibration of 50 miles an hour. Now, personally, I thought it was just these ancient bias plies that are so old they don't even have date codes on them.
Oh, boy.
New. I went underneath here, and let's frame this up nice. Where is a good angle? So you can see there's that coupler between the output shaft and the drive shaft slip yoke. Watch what happens when I push vertically up the drive shaft.
The bolts aren't tight.
Boy, but it's absorbing fore and aft vibration, and it's just attached with this threaded adjuster rod, and it just bolts in with these little ears, so that's going to deflect a bunch too. Like, why?
What do you do? I seriously don't get it.
It's almost like cars from the year 5 weren't designed to go 80 miles an hour. Poor little thing.
You can submit.
That is a terrible design, and the bolts are loose, which is even worse. That is just yikes. Woo, some of the stuff you see. Oh, my. Well, that's, remember, these are the people you share the road with, folks. Don't be scared of other people's driving skills. Be scared of the crap they drive. With that said, that's where I'm going to end it for this one. Thanks for watching. My name's Soji, and I'm out. Give me a like, follow, and subscribe if you can. Check out my Twitch, and check out the CSC Racing League if you want to watch some fun racing content. And with that said, I'm out. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Thanks.